As a busy leader, how do you make sure that you're not spending so much time in the weeds, in the day-to-day minutia of our busy business world, and instead making that switch to make sure that everything you're doing is making an impact that matters for your team, for yourself, for your company? Well, here's the story of one of my coaching clients who made that switch. I'm Darcy Eikenberg. I'm an executive coach based in Bonita Springs, Florida. I am a former partner in a global consulting firm. And here's the story of one of my clients who went from overwhelmed, exhausted, and being seen as staying in the weeds to moving in to a place where she's making a huge impact and ready to move ahead. So my client was the chief operating officer of a division of a large firm. And in that role, she managed lots of different pieces of the company. Now, one of the things that when you're in that kind of role is that your hands are in a lot of different pieces of the pie. And she was really good at her job and she worked really hard. But one day she got feedback that she wasn't being considered yet for advancement. So her company wanted to invest in her. Her company wanted her to grow. They wanted her to stay there. So they invested in executive coaching for her. And through that coaching, we realized that in the mindset that had gotten her to that position that she was in, the mindset of working really hard and doing everything for everybody, was getting in her way as she was being asked and expected to work at higher levels, to be a leader, making more decisions, and doing less of the day-to-day work. One of the biggest places where we saw a return on investment in the coaching was in a regular quarterly meeting that she was responsible for across her leadership team. In the past, she had played the role of more an administrator or a facilitator, making sure all the details were right, making sure that everybody had what they needed. But when she started to recognize where her biggest value was, she recognized her biggest value was in contributing to the conversation, was in asking the bigger questions, was in making sure that other people had the weeds handled, the locations, the presentations, the who was going to be where, and that she was focused on the content, the decision making, the connections across the team that were going to take the team to the next level and make decisions that were right for the business. When we actually did the math, we realized the time they had been spending in those meetings added up to thousands of dollars for the company. And so by increasing the impact of those meetings alone, her coaching paid off for her company, as well as in her perception among her peers. She's now been on a stronger track, getting great feedback and being able to not only make the impact she wants to make, but working with less stress and less overwhelm and knowing more of where she really matters.